Hey guys, this is Daniel, the developer of the Bricks widget creator, and today I want to present you a new plugin that we created. Today we are talking about Bricksforge. What is Bricksforge? It's important to understand that Bricksforge doesn't just offer pre-designed elements, but its goal is to extend the functionality of bricks so that you have more options and more flexibility when designing websites. And in this video I want to show you some features so you know exactly what to expect. When we talk about Bricksforge, we talk about a builder customizer, a global classes creator, GSAP animations. We talk about a powerful Bricksforge panel that works inside the builder, pop-ups, different elements and other powerful extensions to improve your bricks development, like for example a maintenance mode, a custom fonts bulk uploader, mega menu and so on. Let's start with the builder customizer. The builder customizer allows you to set different builder settings for different user roles. For example, you can change the order of elements, or you can hide elements completely for a specific user role. If we change the current role, we see that we can define individual settings for each role. And if needed, you can create also a completely new user role for your WordPress site. Let's trying it out and let's check also how it looks in the builder. We deactivate all elements and we want to activate only the heading, the image, the text basic and the button. When I refresh the builder, I see only these 4 elements are there. Now let's try to change the order of the elements. Maybe the button on the first place. Yeah, and everything works fine. With the settings on the right side, we can also change the builder look. Sometimes it irritates our clients when they see so many buttons in the builder. We can make it a little easier for them. For example, we talk about the element headers or the bricks toolbar. We can easily change the appearance. In this case, we hide the element header. It's more clean. Optionally, you can also hide only the element tabs, content and style. Or you can clean up the toolbar. And this looks way better for your client. And now the fun part. We can change the bricks theming for different user roles and create a custom color environment. For example, we can customize bricks to the client's UI. Let's define different colors here. Okay, let's check that in the builder. Interesting. The different color variants are automatically adjusted as well. Cool. There are more features to discover here. You can find an overview in our documentation. Let's talk about the global classes creator. Bricksforge comes with a built-in CSS framework that you can use inside the builder. You can activate or deactivate the global classes with the toggle on the top right. These yellow tags are the classes that are generated from the code below. And you can use all of these for layouting your sites or design your elements. Let's try out some classes of the built-in framework. You can see all classes in the builder and we can use them for our elements. Let's try the CSS grid of the framework. We have a row class as parent and inside this parent we have different columns. You can read more about this in the documentation. For this example we choose a call free. And let's trying out some other classes of this built-in framework. For example, the background primary color, some padding for the element, and the white text. Great. And when we duplicate now our column, the columns will follow the rules of the framework. And of course, everything is automatically responsive. You also can use typography classes. For the font sizes, we are using the clamp function. And this function is predefined so that all of your fonts will look good on all devices. Great. Of course, you can change the default values. At the top of the code you will find CSS variables that you can customize according to your project. For example, if you have another primary color, you just can change it. And now when we add the text primary class, you will see your custom defined color. So you can customize this built-in framework. A powerful feature of Bricksforge is the possibility to create a custom set of global classes. Give your set a name and define a prefix for. Now you see an empty set of global classes and you can write your own CSS code from which Bricksforge will generate global classes for you. Let's create a simple class for an element design. Okay, that's good for now. When clicking Save and Generate Global Classes, you see that Bricksforge create a global class from our style sheet. And we want to try out this class now inside the builder. You see that our new class can be found here. And when using it, we will see all of our styles. And I see I missed a white text color. I want to update this. Color, white. Save, refresh, done. By the way, these generated classes are not depending to a Bricks ID, so you can use it everywhere. What about to create global classes from your favorite CSS framework, for example Bootstrap? No problem, create a new global class set. Paste the CSS code from your framework. Click Save and Generate Global Classes. And now you can use all Bootstrap styles inside the Bricks builder. When you don't need a global class set, you can remove it as well. Let's talk about one of my favorites, animations. You can activate the animations via the extensions. For the animations we use the powerful library GSAP. Now you see the control group animations on each element. We will look now at various examples of what is possible. By the way, all options are explained in our documentation. Let's take a quick look. We can define a trigger for our animation, a target, and the animation method. I will show you the difference in this video. Let's create our first example. We want to animate an element on click. We want to animate this element, this is the headline, and as method we start with to. The to method knows the current position and will animate the element to a new position. In this example we want to animate the element to x200. This means 200 pixels to the right. And when clicking this element, we see that it animates 200 pixels to the right. Let's include also opacity as addition. And now when clicking, the element will also fade out. Fine. We can also set a duration for the animation and a delay. One fire. Yes. With the Bricksforge animations we can also create custom GSAP animations. Let's try this. Here we can enter our custom JavaScript array with the animation keys and values. For example, the background color, and we want to set the background color to orange. Also we want to set the padding to something like 25 pixels. Let's try it. Great. You can use almost all CSS properties here. Let's talk about the from method. The from method saves the current position and animates from another position to the current one. Let's try this with the same defined values. Yeah, we see the difference. The animation is running reversed. Let's compare it to make it clear. The to method animates to a new position. And the from method animates from a position to the current one. This method is your choice if you want your element to keep a certain position in your design. Let's talk about the from to method. As the name says, you can define two values here, a start value and an end value. Let's define two animation items. Okay. And we see the expected result. The element animates from position 1 to position 2. Now it's getting exciting. We take a look to the motion path method. With this method, an element will follow a certain path that you specify. You can either draw a path in Illustrator, for example, or simply use the motion path helper. With this motion path helper we can draw a path and our element will follow. And there are different shortcuts that you can read in our documentation. Amazing. When we are done and happy, we can copy the motion path and paste it in the setting. For this example, we set the position to absolute and we want to ignore parent dimensions. Let's check the result. Okay, our element is following the path. We want to deactivate now the motion path helper because this is only for development. And if we click now, our element goes his way. Let's make some magic happen with the auto rotate. Let's check the result. Do you understand what's happening here? Let's activate the motion path helper. Our element follows the path and automatically orients itself to the line. This is amazing. Most often we use animations with the viewport trigger. Let's take a look at the possibilities here. And let's create a simple example with the from method. Okay, let's see what's happening in the browser. We scroll down and we see the animation when the element comes to the viewport. We can define when the animation should start and end. When starting the animation here, top bottom means please start the animation when the top of the element reaches the bottom of the viewport. Let's start the animation when the element reaches the middle instead of the bottom of the viewport. Okay, this worked. To see it better, let's deactivate the opacity setting. Again. Now nothing happens, but when we hit the middle, the animation starts. During the development you can activate the markers. This way you can always see exactly when your animation starts and when it ends. You see it here. Now it starts. Great. This way you can create your animations more accurately. And the scrub feature is very amazing. Let's activate it. Normally your animation would run once and then no more. With the scrub function, your element animates based on the scroll position and follows the movements. And this always looks amazing. Let's change the animation setting and add some scale. This way we can see the scrub function much better. Very great. Just again to understand the difference, without the scrub function, the element animates once and will save this final position. With the scrub function, it animates with the scroll position. Yeah. Of course, the enter viewport trigger works also with the motion part method. Let's try it. We create a simple motion path in this case. We make sure that we have activated the scrub feature. And we see that our element is following the path, depending on the scroll position. There are so many possibilities to create stunning animations for your website. I can't talk about everything in this video. Try it out and check our documentation for more details. A very powerful feature of Bricksforge is the Bricksforge Panel. You can activate it in the extensions page. Then you will see an icon for the Bricksforge panel in the top bar. You can define a custom height for the panel. And minimize it if you want. The Bricksforge panel gives you the possibility to create processes that would otherwise require JavaScript. We will take a look at some examples. We create a new instance and give them a name. Click to button in this case. And then we select an element trigger. This is the element that should react to an event. And then we can define different actions. For this example, let's pick our button from the structure. Okay. For this example, we want that exactly this element should listen for an event. And here we can choose the event. We want to choose a click event. And now we can define an action, so if anyone clicks the element, what should happen? For our example, we want to hide this element, so we choose hide. And now we can select an element target. We have different possibilities here. We want to hide the same element. Let's check this in the front end. So when I click the button hides. Fine. Now I want to achieve that all of these headlines hides when I click the button. What do you think? Which select option we do need here? Yes, the query selector all. And here we have to enter a selector. The best way is to give your elements a class. And we can use this class as target element. Because we choose query selector all, the browser will search for all elements with this class. And if needed, we also can exclude specific elements. Let's try it. Yes, this is the expected result. Just for fun, let's run the same function with a different event, mouse enter for example. Yes, fine. Let's trying out other actions. We could, for example, set an attribute to the headlines. In this case, maybe the attribute style and define a new color. Save. Works. And if we inspect the code, we see that the attribute gets added. We also could add a class to the elements. My custom class. And also this we should see in the console. Yes, a custom class gets added. Let's make it more advanced. Let's create a new instance. We name this click list element. And as trigger, here we want to select one of the headline. And we do not need exactly this element. We want to choose this element and all siblings. So if anyone clicks to one of the headlines, we want to set the attribute opacity. As target element, we choose also this element and all siblings except the triggered element. And this is important. Let's check the result. We see that all of these elements get this new attribute except the triggered element. These are just technical examples, but they should show what's possible here. I will create videos that show you how to use it in practice. Now we talk about pop-ups. Activate the pop-ups in the extensions page and you should see the new nav item pop-ups. Create your first pop-up. Here we can define different settings. We give our pop-up a name. We can select a Bricks template for our pop-up. I've created one for this example. You can select a display condition, entire website or a specific page or post. For here we select the entire website. And we can select a trigger, page load, click, scroll position or the custom trigger. You can select a delay and a number on how many times the pop-up should trigger on this page. Let's try the output with the default settings. Okay, the pop-up triggers. You can close the pop-up when the user clicks on the overlay. You can add a close button. And you can select your favorite animation as well. You can add an overlay color. And you can set your pop-ups as scrollable. So if we have large pop-ups that needs to scroll, then the pop-up is loaded in a way that scrolling is well possible. Let's try it. Let's try to open a pop-up on click. We select the click as trigger, and now we need a selector. Therefore, we add a class to a button. Pop-up trigger. The name can be anything. We enter this class in the selector field. And now when we click this button, this should open the pop-up. And it does. Let's deactivate the scrollable feature. Then the pop-up should display centered again. Cool. We also have the possibility to trigger a pop-up on a specific scroll position. Let's select 800 here. When we scroll down, now the pop-up triggers. But what's a custom trigger? Let's check that. Bricksforge provides an element with the name pop-up trigger. And let's see what we can do here. The pop-up trigger is a nestable element that you can use to trigger your pop-ups. Everything inside the nesting is seen as trigger. Let's try it. In this case, the button should serve as pop-up trigger, so I move it inside the pop-up trigger element and I choose open pop-up, my new pop-up. And now clicking the button, our pop-up should open. Great. Let's try the same for the close button. We go to our pop-up template, we see the button here. We add the element pop-up trigger after refreshing the page. We move our button inside the pop-up trigger and we choose close pop-up. Done. Let's check that. Open and close. Great. This allows you to freely specify elements that will serve as triggers for your pop-ups. Let's talk about elements. Even if Bricksforge doesn't define itself with pre-designed elements, we have some to offer that are fun to work with. Let's first take a look to the element flip everything. It was important to us to not just create a simple flipbox that would only limit you. With our element you can really do everything because we created only the logic for you and the rest is the nestable element. You can select an animation and an animation trigger as well, a duration and a delay. And for you developers, we created some events that you create your own JavaScript code. You can see examples for this in our website. And because we can be very flexible with this element, let's try to create a split page with more information which the user can open on click. And done. You can now freely design the content. The logic of the split page already works. We all love flexibility. Let's take a look to the before and after element. With this element, it was important to us that it also works well responsive. Also, you can customize the design of this element. Select before and after images. Great. Let's see how the element works if the width and height are not static. For example, with viewport width and height. And everything looks amazing. When changing to lower sizes, we see that everything is scaled well. You can customize the drag layer. Here we can define a color. Or we can select a custom SVG. Smile. Another cool element is the Font Awesome Pro element. You can use this element if you have a Font Awesome Pro license. Just input the name of your icon. You can choose the icon style. You can spin the icon if you need. And you can change the color as well. You also have the possibility to add a link. And for the icon style solid, Font Awesome offers also a sharp feature. Okay, we talked about many things, but there is even more that awaits you with Bricksforge. We have a custom fonts bulk uploader that allows you to embed your fonts locally all at once. You can create stunning mega menus with your Bricks templates. You can use a maintenance mode if you don't want your site to be visible to visitors yet. For this, you can select a page to be displayed instead. There is a white label mode that allows you to customize the name of Bricksforge in the menu. You can see it here. But not only the name, but also the colors that are displayed in Bricksforge. When you select the color code, all the color variants will be matched. Also, you can upload a new logo to match the UI of your client. Let's take a look to the custom font uploader. When activating it, you should see this button, Upload Google Fonts Bundle. And inside a font family, you can upload also a bundle for this font family, but we want to use this big button now. Download your needed font from this Google Fonts Helper website. We choose Roboto and all styles. Click the Upload Google Fonts Bundle button. Upload all Google fonts you've downloaded before. And you see that Bricksforge automatically creates all the styles you need for the downloaded files. Yeah, everything's correct. Publish. And congratulations, you now host your Google Fonts locally, saving a lot of time. Yeah, this was a small preview of Bricksforge. There is so much more to see, but the video already is too long. I will upload new videos in the future on how to use Bricksforge in the best way. If you're interested on this, feel free to subscribe to this channel. And if you're missing something, please share your idea in the roadmap area of our website. Let's make Bricksforge better and better together. Guys, I really love your support. My name is Daniel. See you next time.